Commissioner Vicki Anderson.
Here.
Commissioner Tommy Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Michelle Morgan.
Here.
Commissioner Lee Powers.
Here.
Commissioner George Chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. At this time, we're going to call on Commissioner Vicki Anderson for an invocation. It'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner.
There are a couple of items on the agenda that will be particularly interesting to boys and girls. I think there's something about the Boys and Girls Club and something, a reading topic that, our system has a literature focus right now. So I think they'll at least have a couple of things to really focus in on. Thank you for having us.
And Ms. Bell, thank y'all on behalf of Commissioner North. Would thank him for y'all being here tonight and coming out. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda as presented with the addition of item 9.7, a consideration of approval to begin site work and permitting of the new fire station off Jones Mill Road.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Next item on the agenda, item number 6. Item 6.1, 2, and 3 is the Governance Education Work Session Minutes of January 21st, 2017, work session minutes from February 2nd, 2017, as well as the commission meeting minutes from February 7th. Look for approval.
Make a motion.
Second. We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none from the board, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is public comments. It's where we allow people to come up and to approach the board. Typically, we do not have the answers. We will research it and get back or assign you. We have the county attorney or some from department heads. If we can help you with the situation, we will. We'll call as signed up. Montclair Gallo Rubio. If you'll please come, state your name and your address, please, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And there's a microphone.
My name is Montclair Gallo Rubio. I live in Bowden Junction, District 6. And this man is in our neighborhood shooting all time of the day, all time of the night. And we was trying to call the sheriff. They said ain't nothing they can do because they don't know if, the way he's shooting, but we got old people living in my neighborhood. We got young kids living in my neighborhood. Them bullets do not have no eyes, no names on it. And we have a gun range over there in Bowden Junction. This man needs to be stopped. Please help us stop him because it is terrifying for all of us. We call 911. I done talked to the sheriffs. I done talked to so many people. Only person I have not talked to is Mr. George
Chambers.
Yes. I can't get him. I leave message though.
Okay.
Please help us stop this man because it's so terrified in our neighborhood. Everybody, we all came out yesterday to try to talk to the sheriff. He said there ain't nothing really he can do because he said that he might be shooting in the ground or shooting in a safe manner. My neighbor done said that they have bullets coming by them. How can you shoot in a safe neighborhood if you got a hill and that hill got a rock in it? What if it bounce off and hit somebody? What if that tree bounce off and hit somebody? Please help us stop this man from shooting in our neighborhood. They say he had a wreck, he on medication. Please help us. I'm begging that y'all help us.
Ms. Rubio, we do have staff from the Sheriff's Department here tonight. Mr. Brad Robinson, if after the meeting's over, if you'll wait in the back, and I don't think they're staying for the whole meeting. If you'll meet with him, I'm sure he'll be glad to talk to you and see if we can get some direction there.
Okay, I got a case number.
Okay.
I have a case number.
Absolutely. Did you see Mr. Robinson? Thank you very much. Next name is Floyd Parker.
Floyd Parker. I live at 684 Hog Liver Road, and I'm here to ask for help.
Lift up your mic so we can hear, please.
We have people shooting. I was standing in my yard one day and a bullet came right over my head. And I looked in the back of my house and it was a bullet in my wall. And I have a neighbor that came home from the Navy and he had one of those 44s and he got out there and just started shooting at 11 o'clock at night. And two years ago, I called the policeman. I tried to get them. They would come up there and talk to the people, but it didn't do any good. So my dog got traumatized, and it cost me $400 for vet bill for my dog. Wouldn't eat for 2 weeks. And my head been operated on 5 times. I had 2 bullets to go through my head. Then I also fell on the last snowstorm that we had, a huge snowstorm about 4 years ago. I fell, gave myself a hematoma. And every time they start shooting, I could just hear bells ringing in my head. And they shooting guns that they should be using in the Army. And one guy, he would shoot about 25 times and he would load up again and start shooting. He wouldn't quit till he have gone through 100 bullets. So we need help in Bowden Junction.
Thank you, Mr. Parker, for letting us know. I'll ask that you see Mr. Robinson, too, that's here tonight with the Sheriff's Department.
Right.
And we've also got the County Attorney Legal if you'd like to see them afterwards as well. Thank you, though.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Next item on the agenda is item number 8, 2 special presentations. We'll call Shannon Lovelady first to come forward. The young people of Carroll County are tomorrow's leaders. Many as such young need professional youth services to help them reach their full potential. The Boys and Girls Club organization in Carroll County is providing services to more than 130 young people annually. Boys and Girls Clubs are places where great futures start. They are at the forefront of efforts in academic success, healthy lifestyles, and good character and citizenship. Boys and Girls Club organizations in our state help ensure that young people keep off the streets, offering them a safe and supportive place to go and providing them with quality programs. Therefore, be it resolved that Carroll County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim March 27th through the March 31st, 2017 as Boys and Girls Club Week in Carroll County, Georgia, and encourage our citizens to recognize and commend the Boys and Girls Clubs in our state for providing comprehensive, effective services to the young people in our communities. We have set this seal by our hand, caused the seal of Carroll County to be affixed this 7th day of March, 2017. Michelle, do y'all all want to come right here, or just everybody come down?
So y'all get a picture made.
Dr. Laura Smith and staff, everybody that's with you, if you'd like to come forward. We have another special proclamation tonight. Reading proficiency is driven by early brain development and supportive learning environments, both at home and school. And children should be reading proficiently by the end of third grade. 63% of third graders in Carroll County are not reading proficiently in this critical milestone. The Get Georgia Reading Campaign is an established framework for action that ensures all Georgia students are on the path to proficient reading by the end of third grade. The Carroll County Education Collaborative is committed to ensuring the academic success for all students, K through 16, and is committed to the 4 critical pillars of the Get Georgia Reading Campaign. The Carroll County Board of Commissioners believes every child deserves a sound basic education and supports CCEC in partnership with local schools, UWG, WGTC, Tanner Health System, industry and business leadership, and economic development organizations in their efforts to develop a community action plan to support early literacy learning in our community. I, Marty W. Smith, Chairman of the Carroll County Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim Carroll County as a partner in the Get Georgia Reading Campaign and join the Carroll County Education Collaborative in developing a comprehensive community action plan to foster a path to reading success for the children of Carroll County. Thank you all very much. Where did the microphone, it's right behind you. Laura, if you'd hand that, I think he wanted to kind of tell real quick.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you just pull it off. There you go. Either one of you.
I'll go first. On behalf of the Carroll County Education Collaborative, we want to thank our Board of Commissioners for endorsing for Carroll County to become a Get Georgia Reading County. We know that our school systems do a fabulous job in preparing our students once they enter school at kindergarten. And this initiative focuses on early literacy, 0 through 8 years of age. So we appreciate your endorsement so that our children, in making this an effort for early literacy, an urgent priority for our county, so that for the ages 0 through 8, we can have our children ready to read when they enter kindergarten. So thank you, Board of Commissioners and Chairman Smith, for this endorsement. Did you want to add anything else, John?
That's it.
I think that's it.
Next item on the agenda, we'll be moving to item number 9 under the financial session. We're going to call on Lehman Stevens, our finance director, for a report.
All right, thank you, Chairman. We're 58% into the current budget year, and as of January, our budgeted revenues, we have realized $33,467,000. That's 66% of all of our budgeted revenue. I will comment that we have collected over 90% of the property tax digest tax. This compares to at the end of January of 2016, we had collected $31,595,000. So we are actually have an increase in collections of $1.8 million comparing January 16 to January 2017. Our expenditures, we have expended $27,444,000 as of January 2017, which is 54% of our budgeted expenditures. At January 2016, we had expended $28,257,000, or 56% of the budgeted. So we have a positive variance of $812,000, which helps our fund balance at January 31, 2017. The general fund balance is $15,080,000 compared to January 2016 of $11,808,000. And as of January 31, 2017, the general fund operating cash is $14,741,000.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, we'll move to item 9.2. Resolution, Carroll County School Board bonds. Consideration of a resolution to assure compliance with the Constitution of the State of Georgia by assessing and providing for the collection of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on general obligation sales tax bonds to be issued by the Carroll County School District. Cynthia Daly was here to present, and if there's any questions, our county attorney is here. If not, look for a motion from the board.
I make a motion to accept.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Next item is 9.3, fire truck equipment purchase. We'll call on Fire Chief Scott Blue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the Board of Commissioners. Back in August, you approved the purchase of 4 new fire trucks. We are anticipating delivery of those 4 trucks late April, early May. At this time, we're requesting the approval to purchase the loose equipment which goes on each truck. You should have before you a spreadsheet providing the lowest bid from several vendors and manufacturers on that equipment. Using the lowest bidder for each category, that comes to a total of $69,207.67 per truck, for a total of $276,830.68, and we are asking for you to approve those purchases.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Next item, item 9.4, jail. We got upgrades for security and video monitoring. We'll call on Major David Jordan.
Thank you, Chairman and District Commissioners, for allowing us to be here again today. On March 2nd, I presented to the board the upgrade proposals that bids that were opened on March 1st. And again, we had Unique Security, MTS, and Security Solutions. The review of ourselves and looking at what we're looking for to continue with is Unique Security. The Sheriff Langley and his staff would like to continue with operation with a long-lasting partnership with Unique Security. I think with your review that you would see there's difference in the bid process. And what we're looking at is Unique Security was the higher bidder, but if you would look a little bit closer in the review for MTS, you will find that there's some door switches that were included at $205 a piece, and there's well over 300, which would put very, very close in bid process. So again, under recommendation from Sheriff Langley, we would like to keep, with your consideration, Unique Security.
I make a motion to approve Unique Security.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion from the board?
There's, I wanted to discuss just a second. There is a discrepancy or a difference in the pricing, but when I was going over that with you all, the unique security included everything, whereas the other company did not.
That is correct.
Okay, so they would be very comparable within a few dollars if that was the case.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Any other discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you, Major.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, item 9.5 is the Correction Institute upgrades for security and video monitoring as well. We're going to call on Warden Robert Jones.
Good evening. Just as the Major just talked about, we're in a dire need of a video security system. I did have the opportunity to review everything that came in, and in reviewing, I believe that with us, as far as the lower bidder, is actually right along the means of what we need at the correctional institution, which would be MTS LLC. There seems to match or exceed what the RFP that was put out for the correctional institution, and they came in. The next closest competitor was about $75,000. So.
Make a motion to approve MTS LLC for $152,200.
Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Warden. Next item on the agenda is item 9.6. There is no action that's needed. It's the employee wellness program. Y'all were presented and got to see that. You've seen the presentation. We'll go through that during the budget process. We are working with our carriers, our brokers, with Tanner. We applied for a grant, and we'll know where the funding and where we stand with that, and I'll be presenting that during the budget process and working with HR. Any questions from the board? All righty, thank you. Item 9.7 is site work on Jones Mill Road. We'll call on Gerald Pilgrim.
Chairman, Commissioners, this is just go ahead and begin. We're probably about 2.5 months out of being complete out on Carrollton Road for the new fire station. We'll have some more preliminary hard numbers for y'all, probably for your May meeting, but this will be able to, so we could begin with Mr. Pope going to be doing the site work, if we get a chance to be able to do the work in the next 2 months, and to go ahead and start doing the permitting process with the EPDs, with land disturbance process, so that we can begin construction on that as soon as available, as soon as the crew will be available. So we'll have, like I said, on the numbers, you know, we finish this job on Tice Road to get a little bit closer, we'll be able to give you all hard numbers, and I think it's going to be something that we're going to be able to come back and be able to say it's under our original estimates. So,
I make a recommendation to start it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Now, any discussion from the board? Charles, I think this does free you up to allow, because I know the weather as we're seeing right now, to give you the window of opportunity with paving fixing come on that will help your schedule, correct? Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pilgrim. We'll now move into item 10 on the agenda, which is moving into our business session. Item 10.1 is appointments, Board of Tax Assessors. On behalf of Commissioner Trent North, he would like to appoint and add Miss Sandra Houston. I would like to make the motion to additional with our second offer is Mr. James Fulford. Look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to accept the 2 nominations.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second from the board. Any discussion from the board? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Item 10.2 is appointment to the Airport Authority.
I want to make a recommendation that we nominate John Burson.
We have a motion for Dr. John Burson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed, thank you. Item 10.3 is an MOU Colorado Premium Foods. We'll call on Ms. Stacy Blackman, County Attorney. It is for consideration of proposed memorandum of understanding, an MOU.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a standard MOU for Colorado Premium, who they've agreed to bring 190 jobs and $15 million in capital investment in exchange for the tax abatement, and we have the standard clawbacks if they don't meet those goals. We have
Make motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Now, I did want to say.
Absolutely.
So this company, with the tax abatement, 190 new jobs.
Correct.
That's what we have as a guarantee from them.
Correct.
Okay.
Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy. Next item is 10.4. We'll call on Stacy Blackman again as a resolution for Flat Rock Road.
Right. This is when Flat Rock Road was reworked. We have a portion of the road that was abandoned, and we just need to deed it over to the adjoining owner and begin that process for the publication of the notice.
Make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion. We have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing no discussion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you very much. Next item, we'll be moving into item number 11, which is our zoning session. We'll call on Artagus Newell, Zoning Administrator. Thank you, Art.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just very briefly, I'll go over the items for consideration. Number one, whether the zoning proposal will permit a use that is suitable in view of the use and development of adjacent and nearby property, whether the zoning proposal will adversely affect the existing use or usability of adjacent or nearby property, whether the property to be affected by the zoning proposal has a reasonable economic use as currently zoned, whether the zoning proposal will result in a use which will or could cause an excessive or burdensome use of existing streets, transportation facilities, utilities, or schools, whether the zoning proposal is in conformity with the policy and intent of the land use plan, and whether there are other existing or changing conditions affecting the use and development of the property which give supporting grounds for either approval or disapproval of the zoning proposal. With that, Mr. Chairman, the first item is a conditional use and variance off Jones Mill Road to request 2 acres to be divided off from an 11-acre parcel. Mr. Chairman, this request has a unanimous recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission.
Thank you, Art. Just to go over the rules and regulations for the zoning process, the property owners or proponents will be allowed 10 minutes to present case and facts. Opposition will be allowed 10 minutes as well. Then we'll call on both for any opposition for a rebuttal. Thank you.
My name is Kelly Nix. This is my wife, Anita Nix. We live at 7336 South Mitchell Court in Villa Rica, Georgia. We're in Miss Vicki Anderson's district. She does a great job. A little background, I've been living in Carroll County since I've been 8 years old, and raised in Carroll County. My wife, she's been living in Carroll County since we got married 24 years ago. She's a teacher in Carroll County. We're all in Carroll County. Kids go to Carroll County schools. And I've been owning property in Carroll County now for over 25 years. My mother's been owning 18 acres for over 40 years. And then, that 40 years, she was like, we've always paid both of us have always paid our taxes on time, and now my mother and father are about 75 years old, and she really wants us to move closer to them. And she happens to have 11 acres right down the street from her, about a half mile away, and she would like for me to, she wants to transfer 2 acres into my name so I can build me a house and be within 4 or 5 minutes of them. So that's what we are wanting to do, is just try, I think it's zoned agricultural, but we want to do 2 acres and get a variance on the 2 acres.
Thank you. Anyone else here for this piece of property representing?
Nope.
All righty. We're going to ask once, is there anyone in opposition of this conditional use permit on item 11.1 under zoning session? We'll ask a second time, anyone in opposition of item 11.1? Seeing none, we'll look for a recommendation from the board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion from the board now?
You are planning to build your house personally on that piece of property and.
Yep,
And
I'll build it. I'm a general contractor, I'm gonna build it myself, and it's gonna be a really nice house. It's gonna improve the
And y'all
community.
not planning on splitting it anymore, are you?
No, that's why my mom only give me 2 acres. She wants to be in control of it. Nobody even know, it'll just be my house on a big field.
Any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you very much. Artagas, if you'll come present item 11.2 under the zoning session.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The next item we have is a rezoning request and also a conditional use permit. It's a rezoning request from commercial to industrial with a conditional use permit and also major exception variances from the corridor development plan, Mr. Chairman. This is at 1076 Highway 78 East. Mr. Chairman, this request has a recommendation of approval from the staff. It also has a unanimous recommendation of approval from the Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name's Andrew Guthrie, and my address is 1707 West Highway 78, Villa Rica, Georgia. I'm looking to move my current business location and move it to 1076 Highway 78 East. In order for me to do that, I have to get it zoned industrial, so that's why I'm here.
Anyone else representing as a proponent for this? State your name.
Hi, sir. My name is Z. Taher on behalf of the Taher family. And we are the current landowners of the property.
Okay. Just like the other one, we'll ask. Under the zoning session, item 11, this is item 11.2, rezoning 1076 Highway 78 East. Is there anyone in opposition of item 11.2 this evening? Asking a second request, any opposition of item 11.2 under the zoning request? Seeing none, we'll look for a motion from the board.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Now, any discussion from the board? And seeing none, all those in favor? All those opposed?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn, but I would like to say on behalf of Commissioner Trent North, Ms. Bell, thank y'all for coming out. We will be around. We'll leave the lights on. If any of y'all want to come up here, y'all feel free, and we're here for y'all. Thank y'all for being here. We're adjourned.